So I'm been trying to get better with recording more videos for you guys. And I wanted to talk about healing wounds, but I wanted to talk about it on the physical standpoint so that you can be able to relate it to your healing journey, right? A lot of times we have wounds and we will have them for years and years and years. For those of you that don't know who I am a certified trauma informed coach specializing in childhood trauma. I'm also currently a student to get my degree for psychology, right? To become a trauma therapist. I love everything trauma, childhood trauma, because for one, from personal experiences, and then I know there is so much hope for people to heal. Some people are just not aware. They feel like if it happened in their childhood, that there's no hope, but there is tons of hope, okay? So let me tell you about this little story. Let me take you down story lane, story time. I did tell this story in like a series on my TikTok, but I wanted to give it to you guys here on YouTube all at once. So a few years ago, and this is just simply telling you how you can have a wound from for so many years and not even know until that particular wound is triggered. Okay, so one day I was at a call center, I was working, and I was sitting in a chair and I stretched. I just did a regular stretch, that was it. When I stretched, I went backwards. And as I stretched back, I had this sharp pain in my leg. I had no idea where this pain came from, why it was excruciating. I told my boss, like, listen, boss, I gotta go. And there was a hospital up the street. I went, y'all. It was hurting so bad to where I couldn't even sit down. Like, they tried to give me a wheelchair. I just couldn't do it. It was hurting so bad. Now, this was in Ohio, Columbus, Ohio, when I was living there. But now I'm currently living in Houston, Texas. But here, there. So I go to the emergency room. They did tons of tests, couldn't find anything. And then they did more tests. And then they told me that it came back, they saw a spot on my pelvic bone. A spot on my pelvic bone. So you know that when we hear the word spot, we instantly think of cancer, right? So I'm like, I'm all over my head at this point. I'm going bat crazy. Do you hear me? I'm a little afraid, but I'm like, you know what, God, I'm gonna just leave it to you, and whatever it is, whatever it is. So they did tons of tests. Now, remind you, I'm here by myself. My mom was out of state, and my dad was, he lived in Ohio, but he lived in another city. So here, there, I'm going through all these different tests. I found out that I had a spot on my pelvic bone. Not only did I have a spot, they told me that that spot had been there for years. They asked me a series of questions like, how long did I know it was there? Have I ever had any pain out of this leg, etc.? I'm like, no, right? So here we go. It took me having to stretch in that chair, years and years of having this spot on my pelvic bone. It took that me stretching in my chair to get triggered, and it triggered that particular wound. So you can have wounds for so long, even from your childhood wounds, and not even know that you have them, right? So speeding up, they told me, they gave me the size of it, they gave me medicine and stuff for, therefore I stayed in the hospital a few days, and then they told me that they're going to have to do a bone needle biopsy. So they had to get this great big old long needle, oh my gosh, and stick it in my hip, of course, and in the bone. But of course I was numb real good. So they did the bone needle biopsy just to make sure it was benign and not cancerous. So of course when you're doing something like that in the bone, it takes a few days. So it did take a few days to come back, and it came back benign. So thank God, no cancer. So they told me they're just going to look after it, you know, me come back 6 months, and I came back in 6 months. They want to make sure that it didn't get bigger, right? It didn't grow in size. So I came back a few years later because they said after the 6 months, come back every year. I came back, I think this was the second, third year. And y'all, yes, you got it. The spot grew. The spot grew, and they said, well, we're going to have to do surgery to remove the spot. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So I had to have surgery. I went through all kind of therapy and everything, right? But I'm saying this all to say, sometimes it takes a wound to get triggered for you to realize that that particular wound is there. Sometimes we get triggered multiple times for us to understand that, hey, I'm tired of this, feeling like this. What is going on? And it makes you seek attention, right? And not just in the physical. I'm talking about as you are on your healing journey to healing wounds from your childhood trauma, etc. And don't let nobody make you feel bad. I'm like, oh, you need to heal, or you need to do this. Sometimes it takes different things for people to realize that it is time for them to truly heal. And it now remind you, they said that this spot had been there, looked like, for years and years and years, right? I didn't know that, but I'm saying this all to say it took it to have to be triggered. Let's say I may have triggered it multiple times before, but I didn't, it never got triggered to the point where I was in excruciating pain. It took me having to stretch in my chair at my job to send me straight to the hospital, to where I had to end up having surgery, etc. Um, but just be patient with yourself. Show yourself some grace as you heal, when it comes to you healing from past trauma, childhood trauma, wounds, etc. Okay? Don't let anybody make you feel bad for not choosing healing, because people will make you feel like that. They will, and they got their own stuff all along. But you guys are going to start seeing me weekly. I am going to start doing a little bit longer videos to this extent, more weekly. So make sure, if you don't do anything else, you subscribe to my channel. I thank you guys for those of you that have already subscribed. Thank you also for helping me get to 1K. I'm just truly, truly thankful, because my heart is really to help other individuals heal from their childhood trauma, etc. I love you guys. I pray that you guys have an amazing day, wherever you, whenever you are watching this, day, night, whenever. Okay, subscribe. Thank you.